everybody! It's Renta here. We're happy to be back at CitrusCon with a special drawing and Q&A panel featuring the amazing and beloved BL mangaka Guri Nojiro. Thank you for coming! We hope you'll enjoy this look into the creative process of a master artist, as well as gain some new insight on Sensei through the Q&A. Before we get into the main portion of the panel, we'd like to first quickly introduce ourselves as Renta staff and explain what Renta is in case you're unfamiliar. I'm So. You may have heard my voice before if you attended any of our CitrusCon panels in the past few years, but I'm not alone today. There's also...
I'm Ames, I'm head of the translation team, and I am also in charge of the BL Twitter account.
And I'm Yomogi. I am on the translation team at Renta, and I help So and Ames with BL-related projects.
The three of us will be the MCs for this panel.
Yoroshiku onegaishimasu.
As for what Renta is, we're a digital manga platform and reading service where you can find all sorts of unique reads. BL is one of the main genres we offer, and our BL page is updated daily with new releases from both our in-house publishing line and our partner publishers. And not only can you enjoy a plethora of yaoi manga on Renta, but we also hold special mangaka collab projects like interviews and fan letter campaigns with the goal of bringing fans and creators closer together. We do these year-round so you can enjoy them even in the CitrusCon off-season. Now, I'll give it over to Ames to introduce the guest of honor for today's panel.
Having debuted just 5 years ago, Guri Nojiro has made a name for herself in the BL manga space with her beautiful, dreamlike artwork and touching, character-driven stories. This past year, her debut work, It Was the End of Spring, was released on Renta to great acclaim. With more and more of her work making its way to the English market, we're proud to host Guri Nojiro as our special guest for this year's drawing and Q&A. Now, if you'll allow me to introduce her debut work. It Was the End of Spring revolves around a young man named Amakawa who recently transferred to a new office for work. There, he meets the beautiful, mysterious Nakahara. Amakawa and Nakahara have a natural push and pull, and while Amakawa has never found himself particularly attached to anyone in the past, he can't help but be drawn to Nakahara. Nakahara, on the other hand, is someone who keeps people at a distance, and while the attraction is mutual and he's more than open for some fun, as he can sense Amakawa falling for him, he feels the need to draw a line between the two of them. For the first time in his life, however, Amakawa is not willing to back down. He wants to make Nakahara his by any means necessary. Will Nakahara give in, or will he keep pushing Amakawa away? You'll have to find out yourselves by reading the book, but trust us when we say it'll be worth your while.
For this special guest panel, we'll be presenting the world premiere of a drawing process video provided by Guri Nojiro-sensei exclusively for CitrusCon viewers. The characters featured in the drawing will be none other than the main couple from It Was the End of Spring, Amakawa and Nakahara. While the video is playing, we'll also be sharing Sensei's answers to some questions that were submitted through Renta last fall. The Renta team translated and delivered these questions to Guri Nojiro, and now we have her answers. Ames and Yomogi here will be reading aloud the questions and answers during the drawing video, so you can learn more about the mangaka behind this incredible work. Now, please sit back and enjoy the video.
First off, we have a question from Lex. Sensei, when you're designing characters, what do you usually start with? Do you just start sketching, or is there a different process you take? They always look so beautiful.
Sensei says, I start with the artwork, and since the character's appearance is what makes the story, my character designs are basically just the result of my adjusting the art to fit the plot and personalities of each story. Hearing you call them beautiful makes all my effort worthwhile. Thank you so much.
Next, we have a question from Kiri. First of all, thank you so much for your work. I'm Brazilian and live in the United States, and I'm a huge fan of yours. I'd like to know where you get so much inspiration to create so many different stories that touch the reader's heart and touch every part of their mind in so many ways that they make them cry and carry with them for the rest of their lives. Your stories aren't fleeting. They last a lifetime. Thank you very much.
Sensei says, "Thank you for the kind words. I'm truly honored to hear you say that. It's almost too much for me. As for inspiration, I think it definitely comes from the movies, dramas, manga, and novels I consume. When I catch myself feeling attracted to a character, I almost unconsciously wonder, what is it about that character that draws me in? And before I know it, a boys' love scenario is playing out in my head. Someone help me." I'm genuinely so happy to hear you found my stories memorable. I'll do my best to create even more stories like that.
Next up is a question from Rory. Hello, Sensei. I love your work. I was wondering if you had a favorite story that you've written.
Sensei says, "Hello, thank you so much. The works I drew in my second year as a mangaka, In Love's Key Reprised and A Beast's Love is Like the Moon, were when I really came to have a sense of my own artistic, expressive style, which is carried over into my current work. I remember having a lot of fun drawing them."
Here's a question from Imma. Do you have any favorite trope when it comes to BL comics? For example, enemies to lovers, childhood friends, any specific type of seme, uke, etc.
I love seeing a big, strong character worship and cherish someone smaller and vastly weaker than themselves. For example, with Dai Dai Daisei, I drew it because I wanted to see a huge, powerful adult kneel and serve a cute younger guy. As for BL tropes, I like to have the one with the higher social status as the uke and the weaker one as the seme. I absolutely love the idea of the underdog turning the tables. Also, the bigger the seme is, the weaker he should be. The weaker, the better. And no matter how friendly the uke is, he's always just out of the seme's reach. As for the seme, well, he should be satisfied just having the uke smile at him for even a moment, enough to make his life feel worthwhile. I've been writing stories like this since my doujin fanwork days.
Our next question is from Tomatori, who asks, Hi, Guri Nojiro-sensei. I'm a fan of yours living in Korea. Last year, I came across your art and was captivated by it, which led me to purchase your manga in Japanese. Since I don't know Japanese, I relied on translation tools to read it, and it made me want to learn the language. Since I like to draw, I often doodle, and I practice drawing every day. Will I be able to create beautiful art like you one day? I'm sending you lots of support from abroad. Thank you so much for your amazing work.
Sensei replied, Korea is actually a place that feels like home for me. I usually don't get to talk about this much, but while I was born and have lived in Japan as a Japanese person, my heritage traces back to Korea, and my art has been influenced by the styles there. I relate to you and respect you for the passion you have for art. So I definitely think you will one day be able to create drawings that I'd appreciate much more than my own work. Thank you so much for your support. I hope we both continue honing our skills.
Next, Miharu asks, Hello Nojiro-sensei. Ever since my friend recommended your manga from a digital platform 3 years ago, I've been following your work closely. Considering it's now been a few years since your debut, have the ways in which you depict the seme and the uke and develop the plot evolved, in your opinion?
Sensei says, the way I depict them hasn't actually changed much to a surprising degree. Early habits last a lifetime, huh? I've always enjoyed seeing the seme serving the uke. In terms of the plot, I do think my style has evolved. Thanks to my readers who appreciate my stories even when they seem personal, I've learned to draw manga that are down to earth and grounded. Thank you all.
Our next question is from Carmen. If you can go anywhere overseas, where would you like to go?
Sensei says, every time readers from different countries reach out to me, I think, I wish I could go there right now, especially Taiwan, Thailand, and Spain. I haven't traveled abroad much, so I really want to go.
Here's a question from Gina. First, I just want to say I loved It Was the End of Spring. It was a very cute relationship, and I loved how Nakahara and Amakawa were so similar and ended up even more similar by the end. I was curious about Matsuda's reaction in the beginning when Nakahara first noticed Amakawa as a new employee. Did Nakahara have a habit on hitting on new employees at work? Or was he just popular because of his looks and caused problems?
Nojiro-sensei responds, thank you. When I read your comment, I thought, you're right. Nakahara and Amakawa are two of a kind, aren't they? Thank you for sharing your thoughts. They're wonderful to hear. Regarding Matsuda at the beginning of the story, I think he noticed a slight restlessness in Nakahara that was different from usual. That's my impression anyway, but since this was my debut work from 5 years ago, my memory is pretty hazy, so I might be wrong. Nakahara is generally friendly, but he's the type who adjusts his distance based on the person. He's good at setting boundaries, so he rarely causes misunderstandings, but there are probably quite a few rumors about him.
And here's another question from Gina. Matsuda was one of my favorite characters. I'm curious about his background. When I first started reading, I assumed he was a family man because he had this responsible salaryman vibe to him. But later in the story, I wondered if he's such a busybody in regards to Nakahara because he's single and has a lot of free time.
Sensei says, I'm so glad to hear you like him. Actually, when I was working an office job, I had a colleague with the same vibe as Matsuda, and I created him with that person in mind. He was friendly, a little flashy, and somehow always ended up joining in when the ladies were complaining about or gossiping about others in the break room. That kind of guy. I think Matsuda is single, but I feel like he might be divorced too. He's the kind of guy you might talk to a lot and think you've gotten pretty close to, but in the end is still full of mysteries.
Here's a question from M. I read A Beast's Love is Like the Moon after finding out Sensei would be a guest at CitrusCon, and I couldn't stop crying throughout the whole story with the bittersweet ending. I was curious if Sensei had the ending decided first when writing, or if it developed while writing the story.
Sensei replied, I'd already decided the ending. At the time, I had the thought that, rather than when you're surrounded by others, watching a beautiful sunset alone can make you feel the most fulfilled and not lonely at all, so that feeling became the theme. I wondered if not feeling lonely even when you're alone stems from trust. So it became a story about a dog, once abandoned and betrayed, learning to trust others again. Thank you for reading.
Our next question is from Jalissa. How does it feel to have overseas fans and readers? Is there any difference between just having a local fan base? Love your work, and I'm happy that it got to the rest of the world too.
Sensei says, when my work was first translated into another language, I was truly moved. Even now, it feels like a dream that people overseas are reading it too. I don't really notice much difference compared to my readers in Japan, but when overseas fans reach out or send me letters, it still makes me feel about 3 times as invigorated. I find myself talking to them in my head, saying things like, I'd love to chat more about our favorite types together.
Next, we have a question from Chisaka. They asked, "Hi, Nojiro-sensei. In BL, male characters usually take center stage, but the female characters you depict also leave a lasting impression. For example, Azumi Kiri's doctor from In Love's Key reprised embodies both strength and beauty, and she's very kind at heart. I'd love to know what you take into consideration when you create female characters. Thank you."
Sensei responds, "Thank you for bringing up the female characters. They're fun to draw, and since I, too, am female, I feel less nervous while drawing them. In regards to what I consider, I guess this is related to the fact that I've always hated suffixes in Japanese that mark traits such as gender, age, and class of the speaker. Sometimes they sound too exaggerated and unrealistic. Recently, I'd been frustrated by a Japanese translation of a Billie Eilish song, which included so many of these overly feminine suffixes. Still, I realize I may hold biases I'm not aware of related to class and gender. So I tried to design characters by picturing someone who I'm familiar with, as to avoid relying on stereotypes. Also, I try to incorporate female professionals, such as doctors and educators, in my manga so that I don't end up creating a world where women don't exist in those spheres."
Next, SJ asks, "What is your favorite kind of BL merch, and has it been made yet for any of your works?" They also added, "I love how your art style complements the soft emotions."
Sensei says, "I really love acrylic standees, and I love keychains too. I was so happy to have so many keychains made for my works in 2025. I'm so glad you could feel the emotions I was trying to convey in my manga. Thank you for sharing."
Our next question is from Ru. "Hello, Sensei. I love your manga. How beautiful it is and the emotions it draws out. Thank you for all your work. My question will be a little more personal. I think the work of mangaka can become isolating due to the deadlines and the type of work it is. But making friends who work in the same field can make it more fun and easy to get through hardships. Do you find it easy to create and nurture friendships with fellow BL authors? Do you have someone in the industry you would consider sort of a best friend? Thank you.
Sensei says, "Thank you for your wonderful thoughts and questions. To be honest, I don't mind isolation that much. For some reason, I actually quite like those times when I'm alone and feeling pain or hardship. Plus, even meeting up with and talking to people won't necessarily make your loneliness go away. When I think about it, what's healed my loneliness and expanded my world since I was young has been novels, manga, movies, and music created by people long ago. So the friendship, love, respect, empathy, and connection I feel with my BL mangaka friends are all things I experience one-sidedly through reading the manga they draw. Scary. I don't really need direct interactions with them to feel that connection. Also, this is embarrassing to admit, but if possible, I don't want my favorite creator to recognize me. I have this incredibly selfish desire to just watch them through a one-way mirror, admiring them to my heart's content. But if my admiration somehow interferes with their universe, then I guess I have no choice but to cease to exist entirely. Goodbye." But that's my thought process every time I see the person I admire.
Next up is a question from Emma. Commercial BL is often limited to a single volume. Would you be interested in exploring longer storylines, like 5 or more volumes? How do you think your plot construction and thematic focuses would change if you were to try a longer volume series?
Sensei says, "I'd love to take on the challenge. If I got the okay to draw sequels, I'd want to continue every single one. But I also want to start new series, if only I had unlimited time and stamina. I've never done a long-running series, so I can't say for sure, but I don't think the way I construct plots would change much. As for the themes, my own feelings naturally shift with the times and society, so I imagine there would be changes to account for that. Does this answer make sense?"
Our next question is from Cream. What inspired Amakawa and Nakahara's dynamic? Is there a particular scene that you knew you wanted to include in the story?
Sensei says, I tried to recall my inspiration for it, but since it's my debut work from 5 years ago, I couldn't remember it at all. Sorry. But I think it was probably because I wanted to read a story about a cute younger guy trying his best to grow up for an older man's sake. For it was the end of spring, since it was my first serialization and everything was trial and error, I started drawing without deciding much of the story beforehand. There wasn't any specific scene I planned to include from the start. Looking back now, I'm amazed I managed to draw it all the way through without any preparation.
Next, we have a question from Chams. What drew you to BL in the first place? What made you decide that you wanted to create your own stories and characters, thus breaking into commercial BL?
Sensei says, when I searched for a manga, Death Note, I liked online, I stumbled upon a BL fanworks site, and that's how I found out about the culture. I was surprised at first, but then I was like, oh, I see. I'm into it. And here I am today. I think what I really enjoy is seeing all these different sides of the characters that aren't their usual selves, including the erotic stuff. I believe it all started from my desire of wanting to see my favorite characters in all types of ways, from morning till night. My entry into the commercial BL world happened when an editor who had read my doujinshi approached me. I was really struggling as a typical office worker, feeling it just wasn't for me. So I thought, maybe I'll try doing manga work for just a bit. It's okay to give it a shot for about a year of my life, right? And that's how I started. Creating my own original work was scary at first, but once I actually started drawing, the more I drew, the more stories and characters I wanted to draw emerged. It was incredibly fun, and before I knew it, 5 years had flown by.
Our next question is from Pepper. Your art is absolutely breathtaking. Is there anything you pay extra attention to while drawing? Also, what is the hardest part of the manga creation process for you? You make it seem so effortless.
Sensei says, for real? Thank you so much. I'm a lifelong learner, so that's really encouraging. Regarding my art style, I think there's an eye-catching style that's easy for readers to follow, so I try to draw with that in mind. But I tend to use fewer lines, and if I'm not careful, it can end up looking pretty sparse, which is a problem. My goal is to add a bit more line work to create art with a sense of texture and atmosphere. The hardest part of the manga creation process is applying the screen tones at the very end. I'm practically drained every time I hit the deadline, and it's so tough to keep my focus. But the moment it's done, I forget all about the tough parts and become super happy. I'm so glad you said it looks effortless, but in truth, I end up redrawing every line a million times. I hope you can see that embarrassing process as well in the drawing video.
Our final question is from Ib. I love how multifaceted the main characters from It Was the End of Spring are. For instance, while Amakawa is usually calm, he's adorable when falling in love, somewhat calculating when pursuing Nakahara, and desperate in bed. All these traits made him a great character. In terms of Nakahara, he may seem mysterious and slightly detached, but he can actually be clingy and needs reassurance. And only in front of Amakawa does he show his playful side. How do you create characters with such depth?
Sensei says, "Thank you for such a wonderful comment. I wonder if my characters seem multifaceted due to them having unexpected sides. A guy who seems cute but is actually calculating. An older man who is actually clingy and isn't perfect. When I get to see those characters, it makes me feel really happy. Even when I see couples in real life, I can't help but hope they, too, have a side they only show their partner, so perhaps that's the trick."
Hi again! We hope you enjoyed this exclusive drawing and Q&A video with Guri Nojiro-sensei. We were absolutely blown away when we first saw the drawing video and also at Sensei's thoughtful answers. As a special thank you for Sensei's fans, we're giving a digital copy of the illustration featured in the video to anyone who purchases It Was the End of Spring on Renta during the campaign period. And if you've already purchased it on Renta, don't worry. You automatically qualify for the gift as well. Please see the information on screen now for the full details. You can also check out our CitrusCon page on the Renta BL homepage to find the complete info on this and other CitrusCon tie-in campaigns happening this weekend. As we wrap up this special guest panel, we'd like to give a huge thanks to Guri Nojiro for collaborating with us this year, as well as anybody who submitted a question to Sensei, and all of you CitrusCon attendees. It's always so exciting when we get to connect the amazing mangaka we're lucky enough to host on Renta with their fans from all over the world. If you're interested in connecting with even more BL manga creators, be sure to follow us on social media and check our BL homepage often as we do different mangaka collab projects year-round aimed at worldwide readers. But wait, we're just getting started with the CitrusCon festivities. Coming up right after this panel is the Renta Industry Panel, where Ames, Yomogi, and I will be present live to share some Renta updates, series recommendations, and exciting license announcements. Plus, we'll be holding a roundtable as the Renta BL localization team, discussing our daily lives as professional yaoi editors, and all the craziness that entails. So if you're interested in working in the industry someday, or just want a sneak peek into what exactly is going on behind the scenes here at Renta, we think you'll find it quite enlightening. If any of that sounds good to you, please stick around. We'll also be holding a Renta Q&A panel later this weekend to answer some FAQs and take audience questions, so please look out for that on the con schedule as well. We hope to see you there, but in any case, have a wonderful rest of CitrusCon. This has been Ames,
and Yomogi.
from Renta. We hope to see you soon.
ありがとうございました。